Looking back at the season, Billy, what did you think of it?
It was a very up and down season. An odd one for me personally, because I got to see both sides of the field. More the background, how the back staff work on match days as well at the beginning of the season, and then towards the end, playing again. But we had a very good start. We started to get a bit of consistency in there. Not the best performances, but we was grinding out some good results. And then, as we know, we hit that blip, which some teams do, and we just really struggled to get out of it in the end. But towards the end of the season, I thought we put some really good performances. It's just a shame it actually finished the way it did, because I thought we could have put a good run in towards the end. But yeah, towards the end of the season, we were playing some really good stuff. So it was a bit of a shame, really.
What have you been doing to keep in shape whilst there's no football?
It's been a blessing in disguise for me, really. So I've never really been much of a runner, we say. But since we've been in lockdown, it's probably the most I've ever done. I started off with 5K runs here and there. And then I just thought, why stop there? So I carried on going. I've been running 10K runs here and there, trying to beat my record every time. So it's been going well, to be fair. And I've just started on more short stuff the last couple of weeks. I've said to myself that, if you can't do it now, then when are you going to do it? I'm trying to be the fittest I possibly can.
Growing up, who is a footballer that you looked up to?
Yeah, that's one of the hardest questions ever, because there's two players I could never ever choose from. And from my club, it's Paul Scholes and Roy Keane. Two similar players, but Roy Keane, his leadership skills, the way he was willing to win, just an unbelievable footballer. And Paul Scholes, for me, probably England's best midfielder we've produced.
Who would you say's got the best banter in the dressing room?
Two dark horses in there. I'd put Fence up there, just for a different shout. I think Fence is a bit of a dark horse. He's quiet, but some of the stuff he comes out with, yeah, I'm going to give it to Fence. Because
you've mentioned running that you've talked about up during lockdown more than you usually would. But is there anything else which you've been doing which you normally wouldn't?
Gardening. I've moved into the house just before it went into lockdown, and I thought I'm off work for 12 weeks now because I'm classed as this vulnerable stuff. So I've had to stay off work. But yeah, I've totally ripped the back garden up. It's been the bane of my life, but I've actually quite enjoyed it, to be fair. Like I say, because if I was at work, I would have never ever got it done. But it's slowly but surely it's getting there, and I feel like a bit of an old man. But yeah, gardening.
You just touched on briefly the classes, one of the vulnerable people for the coronavirus. Do you mind touching on that a bit?
Yeah. Well, I think it's no news that I've been. I was ill a lot of the season. Last season, it was basically it all started when I was at Burton Albion. I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I got diagnosed there, and for 2 or 3 years or so, it never actually really affected me. Just got on with my day-to-day life, and until it was actually at Baseford under Gandhi and Cliffy. Took a bit of a turn for the worse one year. I just keeled over in training with stomach pains and stuff like that. I knew it wasn't something great, and it's never really been that much of a strain on me until then. Got myself back to it. Got the medication to help stop it a little bit. Let me get on my day-to-day life. And last year was just an awful year for me personally, health-wise. Started off right at the beginning of the season. It was the pre-season game. I think we went to, I can't remember, the Airbus. Went to Airbus, and I knew that was going to be my last game before an operation I was supposed to have for my Crohn's. And went in, had the operation, came out 2 weeks later, felt fine with myself. And then I went to a friend's wedding, and took a really bad turn. Started bleeding out of my stomach uncontrollably. It was just litres and litres of blood. Got rushed in, had emergency surgery on that, and it's probably one of the worst days of my life, really, because they actually said to me, they said, you probably want to start looking for a life outside of football, because, we couldn't actually put a target on where it was. So they said to me, says, you might want to start looking for a life outside of football or in football. We're just not playing for now. And that was when I took the decision, I'm going to not retire as much, but just put things into perspective. And I stopped playing football. I was getting married that year. So there was just a lot of important things coming that year. So I took the decision to stop playing for a while under the advice of the hospital. At the time, like I said, it could be for the rest of your life. It could be, a year, 2 years or whatever. And then luckily I went back into the hospital. I think it was 5 months after I went in. They found the bleed. We had the surgery and it sorted itself out. Luckily, gave Cliffy the call, and I was back within. I think it was 6.5 months I was out for in the end, which is very lucky considering I might have had to retire at 25 years old. So I'm well now. You just learn not to take things for granted.
Yeah, you mentioned that you saw a different side of football. I'm guessing that's starting coaching and managing way. Would you say once it comes to a time, does management appeal to you?
Massively. Always has done. Always has done. I love coaching. I've been lucky enough with Cliffy this year. He's been a massive help for me. As soon as he found out my illness, I went into his office. I asked him, I said, look, I'd like to stay around. And he didn't even bat an eyelid. He says, look, we'll find a role for you. Whether it's, I said to him, I'll do anything. I'll pick cones up. I'll go out sky. It don't bother me. But he got me involved straight away. It was him, Scotty, Hazard at the time. He just got me involved straight away. And, it's something I really want to do in the future because I've been blessed to have some great managers, probably the best ones at Ilkeston. Chets, Fowles, probably are, for me, two of the best managers I've ever worked with. Two different reasons, but you take bits and bobs from the managers you've been under. Cliffy, Gandhi, Chets, Fowles. They're all different styles, but you pick up bits and bobs from them and the experience and the level they've played at. And you bit and bob between the both, and you get your own style, but they give you a good vision of the game and how they do it. And like I said, I was very lucky at the beginning of the season for Clifford to give me that opportunity, and who knows how grateful I am.
Yeah. You mentioned that you was at Burton Albion. What was it like being there?
I loved it at Burton. It was tough. It was tough for the first year for me because I actually signed for the college team. So I wasn't actually on the scholarship scheme. I was in the college scheme for the first year. I actually didn't get paid for the first year. So financial-wise, it was actually really difficult. But, I cemented my place in the team, got my second-year scholar. And again, I know I've had some great managers in my time, but Mike Whitlow is a massive inspiration for me in football and what he did for me at Burton. Some of the experiences I did, travelling with the reserves and stuff like that at 17 years old, it's a big thing playing for the reserves and, having a sniff at that first team level. But my last 4 or 5 months at Burton was a bit of a torrid time because that was when I started to get my health issues and stuff like that. But it's no really excuse. I love my time there. It could have gone better maybe, but, I'm glad for the experiences I had. Training at St George's Park every day. Some great footballers. Some of the best footballers I've played with was in that team. So I love my time at Burton.
Which game has been most memorable for you in your career?
Oh, definitely the 8-1 win at Loughborough. I only played 15 minutes of it as well. Against the Fowles. Didn't put me in the starting lineup, but yeah, I don't remember that. But no, I think I played about 15 minutes of that. I think I was more nervous in that game because I was on the bench. Because you can't do anything about it when you're on the bench, just sitting and watching the lads. But that performance was frightening. From Rico, Rod, Pezza, Reevesy and Kyle, that they just absolutely tore it. It was one of the best the best performance I've seen in the Newcastle shirt by a long way, and it was a day that I'll never forget, and a night I will forget because I can't really remember much of it. But yeah, it was unbelievable day. That was unbelievable. So happy for the fans because I can remember Craig coming in after as well and saying, you know, all the success Ilkeston have had, they'd never actually won a title. So he came in and, you know, he got emotional and stuff like that, and it was just really nice to see for the fans. It was brilliant.
You said two players that you looked up to was Keane and Scholes. I'm guessing that you're a Manchester United supporter then.
Big Man United fan, yeah. Yeah, even the amount of stick I do get for it, yeah, I'm a big Man United fan.
Yeah. What would you say is your favourite game watching United?
Probably, that's a tough one actually. Champions League fixture, I think it was. Can't remember what year it was. We played Valencia. I've always struggled to get to Man United games. Obviously, the only games you really get to is Champions Leagues or the midweek cup games. Because obviously on Saturday you're busy yourself. But yeah, it was. I think it was Ronaldo's last season. Played Valencia and he scored an absolute screamer. And it's probably the closest I've ever got to the pitch because normally when you're not seeing you have to sit in the clouds. But yeah, just that game stood out for me. But really, the other games that I've been to have just been those midweek cup games. It's never really been the best, to be honest.
What are your aims going into next season?
Oh, there's only one aim, man. Pretty sure everyone else has made it clear is we want promotion. Whether that's winning the league or playoffs. Not. It'll be nice to win the league. Don't get me wrong, but the sole aim is to just get that promotion because the owners have just got so much ambition, and I'm sure when the owners and the managers release the players who are signing, that will give out a real statement of intention what we're trying to do next year. But yeah, it's promotion only, nothing else.
All right, brilliant, Billy. Cheers.
No worries, mate.